Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and amongst the onslaught of articles that Wizards just released on Daily MTG today, the most noteworthy to me was the one titled, Bringing MTG Arena to More Players and Places This Winter. And this article, of course, it states was written by the famous article writer, come on, say it with me now, Archive. You thought I was going to say Blake Rasmussen, didn't you? That's right, it was written by some mystery person who goes only by the name Archive. I heard a rumor that when Archive is on vacation, the articles are actually written by famous dice player Tron. I guarantee most of you think you got that reference, but you didn't. So the article starts out by saying, at Gamescom today, why wasn't it called Gamescon? Oh, it must be because it's a games convention. That makes sense. Anyway, at Gamescom today, we were excited to announce that we'll be bringing MTG Arena to millions more players around the world. Oh boy. And that starts with Epic. And you know it probably ends with Epic because that is probably the most hated company in gaming right now, maybe tied with EA. I mean, one company makes garbage unplayable games that are over-monetized hellholes, and the other one bribes your favorite games into being an exclusive on a platform that you don't want to use because it's garbage. So they do go on to confirm this winter we'll be partnering with Epic to bring MTG Arena to the Epic Games Store on PC, and shortly after we'll be introducing a Mac version. Oh boy, do those two go together. So we'll have more information on both as we get closer to the release dates. Oh goody, so if you're not familiar with all the drama surrounding the Epic Games Store, one, Epic was the creator of Fortnite, so people just hate it because of that. It's responsible for more cringy little kid dancing in public than anybody ever wanted to see, and Fortnite players are definitely known for the civility and lack of toxicity. Speaking of that, then we've got the Apple fan base, which I happened to coincidentally completely put on blast in a very recent video, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Other than just they're knuckle-dragging apes who don't know what they're buying, and they believe Apple's BS, and they're brainwashed idiots who think that they're better than everybody else. When in reality, the vast majority of Apple's products going back to the 80s are defective crap. Last I checked, they were 6th place in quality just for notebooks, and that's before the motherboard problems and before the butterfly keyboards. They're probably dead last now. If you bought a MacBook in, I believe it was 2017, congratulations, it's the same one that was made in 2014. They didn't update it, and you're running at, I don't know, a third less speed than anything you could buy in the Windows department. How do you not update your only product in a product family for 3 years? 3 years is eternity in computer time. Well, before this becomes the Why I Hate Apple and Their Customers video, I don't care about that. Let's focus on Epic Games. So, I mean, they made Fortnite, 10% of their company, I think, is owned and effectively controlled by Tencent, which is basically the Chinese version of Valve. I guess that's like the closest comparison I can get, except that they make games. Well, any giant company in China is entirely influenced by the government, so that's scary. They claim, oh, they have no influence, they're just pocketing money, which, okay, you're a giant American company and you're funneling 10% of your profits to China for what reason? That's right up there with Newegg getting sold to a Chinese company. Oh, the second biggest retailer in America, literally bigger than eBay. Let's sell it exclusively to a Chinese company because we don't need those profits to stay here. And then their customer service and quality standards went down the toilet. Any business with a brain knows don't let Chinese anything into anything. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll spy on you. Welcome to China. That's how business is done. Then you've got the fact that the Epic Games launcher has been a hot mess since they released it. There's not even a cart. So you can't even just say, I want to buy these 4 games. You have to check out 4 times. That still hasn't been addressed. Then if you check out multiple times in a row, they flag the multiple credit card transactions in a short period of time as fraudulent and lock you out of your account and delete your whole library or something like that. They basically report your account as like a fraudulent stolen account, abusing it because you bought too many products from them in a short period of time and checked out too many times because they don't have a cart. Cannot make this stuff up, guys, nor am I. Then we've got, as I mentioned, they buy up exclusives. So they say, here, have a giant pile of money, launch only on our platform. Which, I mean, okay, you can shoot yourself in the foot all you want. If you don't care about your customers, you just want to, collect a paycheck. That's what a lot of game devs are around for. A lot of them care about art and a community and a product succeeding. But, at the same time, everybody loves giant piles of money. But then there was a whole bunch of Kickstarted stuff where they went to the Kickstarter project and it was successfully funded, massively overfunded. Everybody was looking forward to whatever the game was that was Kickstarted. And then Epic comes in and says, here, have $2 to $5 million in most estimates. Launch only on Epic, only on the game store. Do not launch on Steam. Which, paying people for exclusives, I don't know why that's okay, because literally paying people, like bribing them to not use your competition is monopoly abuse, almost regardless of the size of your company. You can't do that in America, except apparently for game exclusives. Okay. So, like, the whole time they were on Kickstarter, GoFundMe, or any of that, they were like, okay, we are going to give backers at this level a Steam code for the game. It will be on Steam. We're launching on Steam. And at the last second, they're like, we took bribe money. And I'm saying bribe because that's what it effectively is. I don't mean to imply that it's illegal. They are legally paying them this money. But they're like, here, have money to do this. I mean, that's a bribe. I don't care what you want to call it. So they're bribing them to only launch on Epic when they said they're going to launch on Steam. And then they're grabbing like giant titles, like huge AA, AAA titles like, what's that one I still can't play? Metro Exodus. I was looking forward to that game more than any game in the last 5 years. The second I heard it was an Epic exclusive, I ignored it. I pretended it didn't exist. They're not going to get my money. Then there's the fact that CEO of Epic, Tim Sweeney, is a massive asshole and shitlord on the internet. He is like, he should not be allowed near social media. The company's like board of directors or whatever should just tell him to delete his Twitter. I know you guys probably aren't familiar if you aren't following this, but the only person I can compare him to is Trump, where he just says whatever the actual hell he wants and who cares, because they've got so much money from stupid Fortnite kids. He doesn't really care about the company's reputation because they're just brute forcing and bribing their way to popularity. They're just like literally buying market share. So he doesn't care what people think of him or the money. And trust me, just type in Tim Sweeney into YouTube. Yeah, you'll get his whole history of the stupid crap he's said. It's unbelievably offensive, insensitive, insulting to gamers, insulting to their customers. And I'm convinced at this point that he spends about a quarter of his day just arguing with individuals on Twitter. Like, he's that petty and that egotistical. The guy's an absolute nut job and should be removed at his job at the company. And that's who you're supporting and giving money to, not to mention the absolute, like, programmatically incorrect disaster that the software called Epic Game Launcher is. Then, I don't even remember all the crap that they did. I think there was a giant data breach where they leaked all their customers' information. Pretty sure that happened. They're basically one of the worst companies to ever exist. So, of course, one of the other worst companies to ever exist, Wizards of the Coast, is like, hey, let's launch on Epic Games. Now, it's not an exclusive as far as I know. I mean, I'm going to read the rest of this and oh my gosh, is this going to become the anti-Epic Games Launcher YouTube channel if they make it an exclusive and force us to download this bullshit software? Because I'm not going to. I will quit Arena. The thing is, though, that like it already launched, it already has players. And unless they're like, that's their hook now, is they're trying to rope in like existing products that have a huge following and be like, oh, we're holding this hostage. Do you want to continue playing it? Like the Arc Games Launcher, if you remember that whole fiasco. But the game's so big, there is really no amount of money that they could give to Wizards to convince them to do something that detrimental. They would lose so much money, like literally $50 million wouldn't even be enough, and they wouldn't pay that much. It would do too much damage to their brand, too much bad PR, too many lost customers, too many lost sales over the next 20 years. You know, they can't do it. But then again, this is Wizards. When have they ever not done something just because it's the dumbest thing ever? Yeah, guys, let's pull all the good cards out of Iconic Masters and then sell them all to Sports and More. That's a great idea. That went really well for you guys. I'm starting to think there is no limit to the level of stupidity that Wizards is capable of. I mean, I've got 25 years of history to cite as precedent. So anyway, the rest of this nonsense says, what does this mean for existing players? Nothing changes for anyone currently playing Magic the Gathering Arena. When MTG Arena launches on the Epic Games Store, it will continue to be available for direct download from mtgarena.com. See, that says to me it won't be an exclusive. But how long will it last? Did they say forever? They don't say that. They even reiterate, existing players on the Wizards platform will not be required to create Epic accounts. But for how long? I mean, they stopped just short of saying forever. And I think they really needed to say that. I think that they think they were being clear enough, but clear enough would be, and we don't have any intention to ever in the future require you to use the Epic Games Launcher. So you might think, oh, well, we're in the clear. That's clear enough for me. Why would they launch on Epic Games Store? What would be the point? It has such a terrible reputation. It has such a bad connotation in people's minds. why bother? Well, the answer is, and this is the only silver lining to the Epic Games Store, they're putting pressure on Steam, aka Valve, because they're a bunch of dicks and they still charge 30% of all revenue. They take 30% of all revenue for a game sold on Steam. That is ridiculous. They do next to nothing. That's why bigger companies are just like, we're going to make our own launcher, or we're just not going to launch on Steam, or we're going to launch on 2 platforms at once, because this is 30%. Are you kidding me? 30% of, like, in some cases, $500 million? I'm surprised even GTA 5 landed on Steam, to be honest. In fact, didn't that game make $1 billion at least? I'm too lazy to look it up, but they've effectively then handed $300 million to Steam for doing nothing, for managing a bunch of servers and helping people do downloads. Ooh, ever heard of the Amazon cloud? Isn't 100 gigs of bandwidth from that storage cloud like $1 or something? And considering Steam's wonderful customer support, they sure as hell ain't spending that money on anything that does anything, any kind of service. So Epic Games came out, and I think it's closer to like 15% is their take. It's like 18 or 14 or something, or 12. It's really low. It's like astonishingly low. Now, it's also kind of not that low. It's more like what you would expect just a platform to charge, you know, just an intermediary, just a store. So they're like, hey, you come to our store, you're probably going to pay less. Like you as the end product person. Like if the game would have sold for 60, the game devs can easily afford to sell it for 55 and they'll still make more money. Lower the price, get more customers because of it, and then make a higher margin on top of it. That's like a marketing and business dream come true. Unfortunately, Tim Sweeney's winning attitude and their unbelievably bad software and inability to do even basic tasks like let people buy games is just ruining it. And then they had like free games that are now being deleted, allegedly. They deny it, but like if your hard drive fails and you go log back into Epic Games and you download a game for free because it was for sale for $0 for like a week, they won't give you a replacement copy. They claim it was people who are accidentally using 2 accounts, but that's been somewhat disproven. Just anything that could go wrong with like purchases, safety, security, reputation, and PR has gone wrong for Epic Games. I mean, at this point, they might as well hire that douchebag behind PUBG and just let him be in charge of the company's Twitter account. You know, PUBG, where they have confirmed 99% of people cheating in that game are Chinese, and when people say, can you please isolate the Chinese region so that we can not have so many cheaters, he calls their entire customer base a bunch of xenophobic racists. You know, despite actual statistics, proof, and the fact that there's no racism going on. I mean, the list of like CEO of gaming company shitlords on Twitter is like, there's got to be a dozen of them at this point. It's unreal. So, okay, I could see why somebody at least would launch on Steam and Epic Games because any purchase there makes them more money. I mean, whatever. However, you may have noticed the flaw in logic here. Arena doesn't cost a damn thing. And if Epic takes like 18% or whatever of all in-game purchases, they're actually losing money for anybody running the game through the Epic Games Store. So is this just a notoriety exposure thing? Is it just like a status thing where Epic Games approached them and said, can you just throw it on our store? We won't charge you anything. We just want to look like we have a complete games catalog? I think so. Otherwise, they're just losing 18% on any gems you buy, which, what the hell? Why? Why would they do this? Currently, they just run it themselves. I mean, I'm not sure what Steam's policy is, but I suspect I know what it is because, well, I just went to Steam and typed in Magic the Gathering and Arena isn't on there at all. I suspect Steam does take 30% of any, microtransactions or in-game transactions, DLC transactions, however you want to say it. By the way, about 1 million different versions of Duels of the Planeswalkers is still out on Steam that you can actually buy. Holy crap. So I don't get this other than them just grabbing up everything. They don't care if they make 0. They just want to have every game on their platform. And it would be one more that's not available on Steam, but is available on the Epic Games Store. Even though people know, and Wizards is saying, you can just go to mtgarena.com and hit download and ignore this god-awful Epic Games launcher. You know, I feel like I might have benefited from reading ahead here because the very next heading in the article is, will MTG Arena be exclusive to the Epic Games or to Epic Games on PC? They say, we are thrilled to be partnering with Epic to expand Magic's reach to new gamers from around the world. The Epic Games Store will be our exclusive third-party PC download partner. You will still be able to directly download the game from mtgarena.com. So, once again, they don't say we'll never discontinue our downloader. They just say we aren't going to do it immediately. And then they are saying they are the exclusive third-party one, which means you can't find it on, what else is there? The Microsoft Store? Everybody gets their games from there if you're in your 50s or older. By the way, like 50, 60 plus year old people are like mad gamers. I am not kidding. Check with your family. That is like all they use their computers for. But anyway, it won't be on, what's another one? GOG, I think they do stuff. Or is that the one everybody hates because they sell stolen keys? I don't remember. Or no, I think that's the one by the CD Projekt Red people. I don't know. Anyway, it won't be there. It won't be on EA's garbage launcher. It won't be on Arc Games launcher. It won't be anywhere. It won't be on Steam. It'll just be on the Epic Games launcher or Epic Games Store. But the exclusivity is just third-party exclusivity. So, I mean, my only thought is maybe they're thinking, okay, if somebody goes to, like, category, card game, most players, most popular, boom, they'll see it, and then they'll be like, oh, Magic, I don't know what that is, and they'll download Arena, run the tutorial, and there you go. Maybe that's the angle they're going for here. Or like I said, my original theory, Epic Games just wants the notoriety of being the one to hold it. So they go on to say, can friends play together if they download via the Epic Games Store or directly through the MTG Arena site? Yes, you will be able to play with one another regardless of where you downloaded the game. And then what about other platforms? The plan has always been to bring MTG Arena to millions of players around the world. Currently, we're fine-tuning the game during its open beta on PC. Remember, it's still in beta, allegedly, which is ridiculous. But bringing the game to the Epic Games Store as well will be a great first step to taking Magic to new places. Well, not if it's your exclusive third party, because then it's the end of taking it to great new places, but okay. After our launch on Epic, we will follow shortly after with the release for Mac. In the meantime, if you haven't yet tried MTG Arena, now is a great time to get started. Simply visit mtgarena.com. That's right, they're not even going to send you to Epic Games Store because it's not up yet. To learn more and download the best way to play digital Magic. That would be X-Mage. Read the full announcement from Epic Games here. No, I'm not going to do that. Well, I think at this point, I pretty much speak for everybody who knows what they're talking about in the gaming community when I say I don't want Apple people, like Apple fanboy customers or people dumb enough to use the Epic Games Store anywhere near any game that I play. I don't want to be near them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to sit next to them on a bus. I don't even want to breathe the same air as them. So overall, I'd say this is a very negative move. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Arena doesn't cost anything. And if anything, it just made Wizards lose 18% on all their packs. This is dumb as hell. I hope they collected a big payday for this. Otherwise, they're really getting the bad end of this one. And yeah, at least this, for now, doesn't affect any of us. If they make an exclusive and like, no, as of 2021, you have to play it through Epic Games Store, they will probably lose realistically half of their customer base and half of their purchases. That is legitimately where I would predict it. So I don't think they're going to do that, but Epic has been known to pull shenanigans like that before. Not just shenanigans, but bamboozlement as well. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep crushing it in Arena and playing Paper Magic at the old dirty Chinese restaurant down the street, and there's nothing they can do to stop me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next bad announcement.